it's up to you to mop up the mess. Still covered with food and drink. Looks like the customers left in a hurry. You find a crossbow bolt still lodged in the victim's side. You also notice several gashes on her palms. The incriminating information in this ledger would fetch a pretty price on the black market. You wonder why the murderer would leave it behind. A chest full of coins was left here locked and untouched. This was no robbery. You can tell that there's more to this than meets the eye. Searching the gambling hall raised more questions about the murders than answers. As you turn to leave, you hear figures clamoring outside the building. Strike down the last of this group of Dask. alongside all the other cast-offs in her shop. A different body, but the same song. A crossbow bolt dipped in poison and a palm covered in slashes. Yet this time a new detail catches your eye. A shattered pin bearing Font Arcanotechnic symbol. A closer look at the keg reveals a hidden compartment filled with smuggled goods. Some small packages lie in the cauldron. No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later. The murderer could have emptied the pawn shop, and yet only Mord's life was taken. Armed with your findings, you wonder, what connects all these gruesome crimes? The more questions you have. You can only hope that Zulkus Crowspire holds the answers you've been seeking. Despite your own shock at meeting him again, you hope that Zulkus is willing to answer your questions about the murders. Zulkus steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with the smug triumph of a man who thinks he's won, but you're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to notice. The troll of, but you've got a job to finish. Another crime scene waits for you in an alley south. You wonder how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes were literally the killer's signature. Whoever did this wasn't shy about letting people know. You stoop down to search the contents of Mayrim's pack. Looks like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him. You find a security ledger embossed with Vaunt Arcanotechnic symbol. A quick glance reveals that every victim had worked for Vaunt. It's too big of a coincidence to overlook, especially since a note in the margin talked about cleaning up loose ends. That ledger told you what you needed to know. The victims all worked for Vaunt and were killed because they knew too much about his operations down in the cogs. You strike down the last of the attackers. You can't let these petty thugs hold you back. Not when you're so close to the truth. breathe a sigh of relief as the goblin falls. You've sent the murderer to his just reward. But as you turn to confront Zolkis, the goblin suddenly rises. Zolkis quickly casts a dimension door. The tiefling and the goblin disappear through it.